Hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. Good evening, good morning, wherever you are joining us from. Hi, good day. So today we have a VIP. We have a VIP. I mean, we're so overjoyed. We have someone really, really special, very special because she's doing amazing things in the global talents community and also really helping a lot of people to navigate this global talent visa pathway and everything immigration related as well, and just studying abroad or having a career abroad. So I'm not going to even do justice to the introduction, but I'm going to soon let her introduce herself. But I want to actually, before she starts talking about her story, her experiences, let us know where you are. If you're live, let us know where you're joining from. Just put in the chat wherever you're joining from: YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn. Where are you joining from, and what are you expecting from the session? We want to ask one question to Dr. Yemisi. She's our guest today. Hi, Dr. Yemisi. Welcome. Welcome.
Thank
So we want to ask
you.
her one question before she introduces herself. Can you tell us what's your favorite quotes? I mean, any quotes at all. What's your favorite quote?
Wow, I'm sure somebody should just be putting it in the chat right now. No limits. What
No
else?
limits, no limits,
No,
no limits, no limits.
no
Wow.
limits. No limits is what
Yeah,
it is. No limits.
no
No
limits. And
limits.
that's really I think your story and everything really, that quote actually captures it. No limits, career beyond boundaries and borders, right? And today I'll like us to start by knowing, tell us more about yourself. Tell us your background. Why did you choose the Global Talent visa through this academic route? Because you're the academia madam, you're the research, you're the research madam. So tell us about your background and everything that led you on to this Global Talent visa pathway.
Wow. Wow. That's a lot. But yes, let me start from somewhere. Hello, everyone. Please let us know where you're joining from. My name is Yemisi Adedeji. Um, I'm sure some of you might know me on YouTube as Dr. Yems. And wow, Global Talent Visa is something that it was introduced to me actually, interestingly, by my best friend from the United States. I was in the UK, and someone in the US was looking after me. Let me use that word. Sorry, this lights is just, yeah, I think that's better. Someone in the United States was looking after me, and yeah, that was how I heard about the Global Talent Visa. And a friend a friend's friend who is in the UK got endorsed just before I finished my PhD, and then we got talking, and that was how I, heard about it and said, "Oh, interesting. I would, this is something I should possibly explore." And yeah, the research and academia route is not as popular as you people, the tech people. You're everywhere, you know. Like somebody said, also a recipient, Folarin said, he said one of the disclaimer he has to tell people is it's not a tech visa. you know those of those of us in the research and academia, we're not well known. uh so many people don't know so much about it. So I went through route 4. So the research and academia is such a big, it has 4 different routes majorly. It has route 1, route 2, route 3, and route 4 under 4 different endorsing bodies. So it's quite a very, very interesting area, the research and academia. So I went for route 4 because I wasn't eligible for any of the other routes, which is why I always tell people it's always good to have that walkthrough where you're thinking, okay, which of the routes am I even eligible for? So for me, it was that. I would have been eligible for route 3. So for those of you that possibly might just be hearing about the research and academia for the first time, so route 1 is more of academic positions, majorly targeted at senior research position. So if you have a postdoctoral position, you won't be able to use route 1. But if you have a grant under an academic institution, you might still be able to use Route 1. So it's, and then if you have, say, if you're working on that, say, an innovative project, because I've met someone that was a manager in an innovative project and used Route 1. So the entire target of Route 1 is just more senior positions, more senior academic position, or innovative parts. So that's Route 1. Route 2 is individual fellowships. So if you get any fellowship under any research institute, you will be able to get Route 2. And there is a long list again on the different endorsing bodies for each of these individual fellowships that are available for endorsement. But if there's a fellowship you're interested in that is not on that list, you can reach out to your endorsing body and they would add it if it meets the criteria. Why Route 3 is the easiest route? I always call it the easiest route because it's just, you have a grant, you are named on the grant, and then you apply. So Route 3 is the seat of UK research and innovation. They used to just be scattered under all the endorsing bodies until I think probably 3-4 years ago, when they saw the need to actually make them themselves an endorsing body, which is the UKRI. Then Route 4, that is the route I went through, which is the peer review. That is Route 4. Route 4 is the peer review, which is the one I went through, and I was endorsed by the Royal Society. So the research in academia is quite interesting because you can interestingly have be have an endorsing body be endorsed by an endorsing body, and then go through any of the routes. So it's all, there is 4 routes and any of the endorsing bodies can endorse you. And then I recently made a video about all the disciplines. So there's a list of disciplines that the UK is actually targeting for the research and academia. So it's important that that is put into perspective. So I just thought, to run through the route. So because I went through Route 4. So if you're just hearing about it, you'll be wondering what exactly is Route 4 and all of that. So yeah, Route 4, the peer review route, was the route I went through, and I was endorsed by the Royal Society.
That's amazing. Just to give our audience some context, could you talk more about your background? So maybe people who are hoping to go through these academia and research routes can more or less understand the background you were coming from that actually helped you to get eligible for this pathway.
Okay, sure. So I have a BSc in microbiology from Nigeria. So I'm from Nigeria, actually. I'm a very proud Nigerian. So,
We are all
uh,
Nigerians.
oh, nice to meet you, fellow Nigerians.
Proud Nigerians.
Yes, proud Nigerians. So yeah, so I schooled in Nigeria for my undergrad. I did my BSc in microbiology, and then I came to the UK to do my master's in microbiology and immunology. And then after I finished that, I started my PhD in virology. So,
Wow.
that was, my background. And to be honest, like most people say, for the peer review route, it's written boldly, on the website that you must have a PhD. Like I always tell people, the research and academia, it's not like, like you guys, where you have mandatory criteria, optional criteria. All our own criteria is mandatory. You either have it or you
Yeah.
don't have it. Okay. So if you don't have it, then there is an option, which is usually like an option in the sense that you would be offered an equivalence, and that only happens on the peer review route. So if you don't have a PhD for peer review route, you will have to show that you have equivalent clinical research experience or industry experience. So that is basically my background and how it came about that, I was eligible for Road 4. I was able to meet the criteria, but there are so many exceptions. We've interviewed quite a few people on my channel, that both Royal Academy of Engineering, Royal Society. I haven't met anyone from British Academy, but I'm sure they exist out there. People that all they had was their masters. But to be honest, you have to be, to an extent, outstanding, because this is all exceptional. Outstanding in the sense that if you don't have PhD, what do you have to show? It's all about the evidence. It's all about the criteria. If you don't have a PhD, you must be able to convince the reviewers that you have equivalence, clinical research, or industry experience. And then you have to have, a big cushion of publications, that will push that up, because it's all about that balance of, okay, you don't have a PhD. How do you want to show this? And how can you convince those? And it's proper peer review. I keep telling people, it's easy in Jesus' name. Honestly, I'm a person of faith, but you need to meet that criteria. So that's how. Sorry, I'm trying to, as much as explaining my background and all of that, I'm just trying to put everything in context so that for people who are quite new, they'll be able to understand, how the whole thing works.
Okay, I think I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
How does the peer review process, how does it work? Can you explain to us maybe step by step how it works? And there are some key requirements as well. If you can just break that down for us. Yeah.
All right. So like I initially mentioned about, the peer review having mandatory criteria, like, you must have a PhD or you have equivalent experience. So like we all know, the global talent visa, when we talk about, if you want to talk about step by step, you have the endorsement stage, which is the first stage. Okay. With the peer review route, you have just 3 documents to submit for you to be endorsed as an exceptional talent, which would be an exceptional promise. Let's start from there. So if you are new here, welcome to our YouTube channel. Exceptional talent and exceptional promise. They are 2 different things. So if you've never heard of that, I'm sure there are some videos already on Glotel YouTube channel. They've interviewed quite a few people, and these are things that you need to watch to be able to understand it better. So exceptional promise is people who have experience less than 5 years, under 5 years, and then exceptional talent are people who are leaders in their area of specialty. So when it comes to step by step for the peer review for exceptional promise under the research and academia category, you need just 3 documents to get endorsed by your endorsing body, which will be either the British Academy, the Royal Society, the Royal Academy of Engineering, and then the UKRI don't have that classification because it is all about you have a position, you're under a grant, and then it's just is the easiest. Is one of the fast track. This application is one that is not fast track. So with all the routes, they are fast track. Route 1 is fast track, route 2, route 3, but route 4, it is not fast track because it has to be peer reviewed. Okay. So route 4, the step-by-step guide, when you apply for endorsement, you need to submit 3 documents, which is your CV, a recommendation letter from an eminent person, and finally a personal statement. I say finally a personal statement because people always confuse it. A personal statement is part of the application. So when you apply for endorsement, and I always advise people, get your CV and recommend and your personal statement ready, because it just gives you that whole, perspective. It just puts everything into perspective for you. You are able to see your professional journey. You're able to then before you go to application, because it's not just one of those visa applications. The personal statement is part of the application. So as soon as you're applying, you must be ready to submit the personal statement. So those are the 3 major documents you need for someone who is an exceptional promise, who is a potential leader. While for someone who is an expert or say an exceptional talent, you will need the same set of documents, but an extra recommendation letter from another eminent person, which is most often than not like an objective assessment. So all of these that I'm talking about is all on the endorsing body website. So like we say, the guidelines are, the Bible of global
Yeah.
talent visa. So if you go to your endorsing body, whichever endorsing body would be endorsing you, you will see all of this information there. So those are the, step by step. So our stage one will be the endorsement stage, which is we submit 3 documents and get them endorsed. Then we move to stage 2, which will be the visa itself. I hope that answers.
Yeah, that makes sense. I sorry, really, I want to, because when you say PhD, is it compulsory? It has to be PhD from the United Kingdom, or you can have PhD from any maybe the person's country of residence.
Yeah, it can be from anywhere in the world, but I must say, don't tell anyone. People from the UK always have, they have higher chances. I say that because the thing is, everything about Global Talent Visa is centered around UK research priorities. So if you finish your PhD in the UK, there's a higher chance of your projects being focused in the UK, if you get what I mean. And then if you're coming from outside the UK, is a different story entirely, because when you're writing your personal statement, it's going to be focused on UK research priorities. You're going to be endorsed as an exceptional talent, as a potential leader that in the future they will be looking up to you to become something. You're going to be adding value to the country. So anywhere in the world, but make sure that when you're thinking about global talent, you're thinking global, you're thinking outside the box. You're thinking, okay, I worked on, a virus in Nigeria. I worked on hepatitis A. Is it prevalence in the UK? Hepatitis B, Oh, I worked on HIV in my project in Nigeria. HIV, oh, I worked on sickle cell. There are not many, sickle cell patients, quote and unquote, in the UK like there is, that's things that, would be more likely your focus in your country of residence. But when you're looking at the UK, you now have to start thinking, okay, how does everything that's done, how does it fit
To the
into
country.
the UK research priority? So whatever you've done at all, whatever your PhD was in, you need to start thinking global beyond, your country of residence. It's
Wow.
just all about the mindset of. So your PhD honestly doesn't have to be from the UK, but like I said, that focus, how do you bring it all together to be able to hit that, for example, hit that target of this UK research? And that's why I keep telling people that wherever you are, if you really want to come to the UK, if you've had your PhD outside the UK, you need to start thinking about collaboration, start fostering collaborations. There are people that, like someone called Odwa, she was endorsed by Royal Academy of Engineering, who interviewed on my channel. She was just doing her thing in Nigeria. She had grants already with the Royal Academy of Engineering from Nigeria without even knowing. She never knew what was global talent.
Wow. Wow.
And she had collaborations already here in the UK. She had people, because your eminent person is going to be from the UK. The 3 requirements we talked about. The third requirement, which is the recommendation letter, the eminent person must be in the UK. So if you did study in the UK, you must have had a collaboration. Where do you want to generate that person from? And that's one of the biggest issue of the peer review route. I get a lot of questions about, I'm sure somebody will still ask it after this. How can we get recommendation letter in the UK? That's the biggest problem. Yes, it is. But if you really want to, that's why it's global. You need to start thinking, okay, how do I foster those collaborations? Something that can connect me to the UK and, foster There's someone, that applied outside the UK, presented themselves as an independent researcher. But the person had a collaboration already, a very big name that could write that recommendation to say, yes, I've worked with this person in the past. This person has finished his PhD in this. We've had this collaboration. That link has to be that. It has to.
Wow.
Oh, I mean, that's really amazing. So if you are joining us, wherever you're joining us from, be it YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, please do engage. We're going to be taking questions, but if you already have questions, you could just drop it on the platform and we feature your question, because we're going to get to open it up for everyone to ask questions very soon. So please, but you can start getting those questions ready and posting them. So yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Yemisi. We're really learning a lot. And from what you're saying as well, it's clear that that network needs to be there. You need to have your network, right? The right people, like people you can always have around you to recommend you. It's not going to come from the blues. It's going to come from people who know your work or can speak about your work. So can you, another question I see people ask as well is around publications, so tell us more about, do you even need publications? And I know you mentioned something about publications earlier, but can you expand on that? How many publications, quality of publications, what do you think you're actually looking out for when it comes to publication? And maybe you can line that up with the particular routes that you mentioned as well. Which of those ones would you need publication, and how much of it is enough? I know you're not that question just open-ended, but yeah, just have a go.
Yeah, makes sense.
Just to say, I'm not a reviewer. Disclaimer. I'm not a I'm not a reviewer. I'm the reviewer's reviewer. Yeah, that's quite interesting. Honestly, it's quite interesting because yeah, publications are very important. It's very important. You can't be an active researcher. One of the mandatory requirements is you must be an active researcher. How do you want to show that you have been an active researcher without a publication? And because of how they've made this, you must have experience, under 5 years or more than 5 years. It puts you in that. If you have a publication from 2015, that's a decade ago, and you want to, how active are you with a publication from 2010, with a publication from, so you want to be able to have at least 3 publications. Like I said, they don't want to be endorsing nerds. Nerds, as in, they are just book. There are so many things. It's all about a leader is someone that is very, very diverse. You do a lot of things. You are involved with the community. You are involved with so many things. So it's all that balance, and being able to target, because your application is going to be reviewed by experts in your field. And that's why they ask for these disciplines, because they literally have a panel that sits. Like it's a proper review, like when you submit, your papers to journals. So publications are very important. It's just another evidence that indeed you are you are an active researcher. So publications, to be honest, are very important. Not that you should have 100 publications. No. But, something that shows your work, something that connects, something that speaks. Like somebody that wants to be endorsed now under Royal Society, say as a virologist, you now have publication in business analysis. Are you getting me right now? You have a publication in social welfare. Can you see that they'll be confused to which expert you are? They would not know where to place you. Some of us get involved with quite a lot of things. Some of us are part-time content creator now by weekend. What we do for the week, there are some things that, you want to apply for global talent, you cannot put on your CV. What am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is those publications need to be in your area of specialty. Say you have like in fact, say you have like two nature paper, and you have one professor that is a professor of professors, and then maybe the reviewer they sent your application to in that same field. They might not be able to get, an expert every time in your field. That's why, they have. So if you look at those disciplines on the website, you will see that they have, say, under health sciences, under clinical research, they have a long list. So if they see somebody that is focused in that area, they might send it to them. If God favors you and favors you well, this person will see you. And these are human beings. The person might not see a need for, your specialty in the UK. They just say, what's exceptional about you? And that's why, those publications, at the end of the day, it just makes you stand out. So you see, all of the things that you require for the global talent is what makes you exceptional. Is what makes you exceptional. I hope that answer. I'm so sorry, when you ask questions, because it's quite a very big, it's a lot, and I don't want, people to go away from this webinar not getting the right message, because we might not be able to answer everything here, but as much as possible, we'll just try to do so that you have an understanding of, if you're talking about route 4, this is what you're going for. If you're talking about route 1, 2, 3, you know what you're going for. So this is just a quick, just a touch on everything.
Yeah, thank you so much for elaborating on that publication. Because I was going to ask next, what are the other factors that strengthen an application? But you really touched on it. Like you mentioned that it's not just the publication, but they're looking at you all round, what you contribute, what you're bringing to that field. So that's really, really useful. Thank you.
Yeah, you were saying touch on. What other touch on do we need in the recommendation letter?
Exactly what you are doing. Touch on.
Like putting Korea and this thing in. Because you have said some things about recommendation letters. There's like more touch ons we need to know, so that get it wrong.
For recommendation letters, to be honest, most often than not, if you want to have the best, recommendation letter, you want your CV and your personal statement intact. You want those documents, ready. You want them ready for you to send to your eminent person, who will now look at those, because they all have to connect. You can't just say, oh, please write a recommendation letter for me, and your recommendation letter is going to Wales. Your CV is going to Scotland, and then your personal statement end up in Northern Ireland. That would be Global Talent Visa House of Commotion. So it's really, really important. The touch on would be that you are able to present your document ready to whoever is going to recommend you, and then they can now put all of those information together, and then that helps bring everything together. Even as they already know you, they must know you, they must know your work. And that's one of the things that is very important to start fostering those collaborations, because it's not an objective assessment. They have to know your work. They have rejected people on the grounds of, it's obvious that the person who recommended you does not know your work. Is an objective assessment. Like it's a serious review. When you see a proper rejection letter, you know that they sat down to review it.
How many pages long is it?
No. It's not that long. It's like a form. It's like a form. They have all the criteria and everything listed, and then they just tick, and then they will now write you further details, like to give you where where everything is settling. Like after the normal criteria, then they will now, take their time to explain further.
Amazing. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, Victor, we can cite you. Please keep it coming. If you have questions, put that down wherever you're joining from so that we can take your questions. There's so much to learn from Dr. Yemisi today. And we are really talking about how to get a global talent visa through the focus is the research academia routes. And Dr. Yemisi has been breaking it down and bringing different aspects of it together. And it's so, so informative. I'd like to ask, what do you see as some of the biggest challenges that we have people face in this application, biggest challenges and how they can overcome them?
Like, we've been saying ever since we started, one of the biggest is that recommendation letter. For Route 4, anyway, is that recommendation letter. Is how, can I get someone to recommend me? That is the biggest challenge for Route 4. For other routes, is either you have it or you don't. Route 1, you either have a position or you don't. Route 2, there's either an individual fellowship or not. Route 3, you either have your name on a grant, because there are so many people, that are already on a grant already in the UK at the moment that want to switch the global talent visa as well because of the benefits. So with Route 3, if you're not named on the grant, it's a very big problem. If you don't work more than 50% on the grant, it's another problem. That's for Route 1, 2, and 3. But the biggest for Route 4 is who will recommend you, especially if you're not in the UK. And also, apart from who will recommend you, do you have a PhD? If you don't have a PhD, do you have equivalence experience? I always tell people that when they are saying equivalent research experience, just think about what a PhD student would have done, what they would have achieved. That's the best way to balance it. Because if they are giving PhD students, there are PhD students people that have global talent visa that were rejected. And they were told, oh, you don't even now have postdoctoral. You don't have postdoctoral experience. So what exactly do they want? So, you just need to be the person they want and, tick all those boxes. And that's why in fact, one video that I made recently, I'm editing that video myself because that video is very emotional. Because I told people, yes, a lot of people are appreciating the information. Hallelujah. Amen. But don't apply if you're not ready. Stop complicating this issue. No, it's true. It will become more stringent. It was, the data will be affected. Everything is all about data. By the time they produce, that data that they usually produce, you will see how many rejections we've had, in all of the. So if you are not ready, don't apply. Don't make it more strict. Don't water it down. That's the word. Don't water it down because it's global talent visa. I must apply. No, please don't apply. Because beyond you, there is more impact on so many of us, even those of us that are passionate about sharing this information. I don't want to be receiving emails of I was rejected. We will get those, but let's also get the successful. There are people that I don't even know, to the glory of God, that have just watched my video and they've gone to do their applications on their own. A quick testimony, someone reached out to me, oh, thank you for helping my friend. And I know the person directly. So thank you for which of your friend? So, oh, this person. Said, I don't know them. And I'm like, really? The way he said it, like, Dr. MC helped me. I said, help where? Who? So if you're out there and you have gotten this global talent visa, please reach out and tell us so that we can know that you are getting. The people that get it, they don't shout, oh, they don't talk. They will just watch the information. Those of you that are here, you will soon get it by the grace of God. So let us know. Reach out to Glow Tilda. Oh, on a so date, we got information from you, Glotel, and we got the visa. So please let us know. The more we can share the information, honestly, the more we can know what exactly the requirements are and how we're meeting it. Sorry, hopefully I've not gone off tangent.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's just think you can go ahead. You can go ahead because there might be some mistakes that we've not mentioned as well because the rejection letters that have you've seen, if you can just in retrospect tell us what other maybe common mistakes that you've observed the applicants make and how can they avoid those kind of mistakes, please.
I think I've mentioned a few of them. Like, if you're not ready, don't apply. Make sure you meet the requirements, the criteria for Route 4. If you're going through the peer review route, try your best possible. Let somebody review your application. We cannot overemphasize the place of someone, a coach, or someone who have been successful, review your application and giving you an honest feedback, being objective when they see your application. That is very, very, very important. And if you are not ready, if you're not there yet, like I always tell people, it's something you can work towards. Work towards it. Start going for conferences, start fostering those, collaborations, start looking out for. If you're in UK already, go and find labs, just go and volunteer. I know it's a lot when it comes to as immigrants and all of that. Financially, it's a lot for us. You want to volunteer when you have bills to pay,
Right.
yes, it's a lot. Yes, but find the time, reach out to professors and tell them, oh, I'm interested in what you're doing. Can I just join your team and, volunteer? Well, it does work in this country. You volunteer, and then when a job opens up, they would reach out to you first. If there's something I know that works in this country is people prefer to take people that they know or they are recommended to than a total stranger.
Yeah.
On a fair, it's not about I know. No, it's based on merit. It's going to be based on merit. So start fostering collaboration, start looking for all those opportunities, and don't apply if you're not ready. Build up your application as much as possible, just to tick all those boxes.
Amazing. Thank you so much. There's a whole lot of information here, a whole lot of insight. I hope you're catching it. I hope you are taking something from all what Dr. Yemisi has been sharing. So right now we're going to be opening it up for questions from the audience, and we already have some questions. So if you have questions, please do put it down and share it on whatever platform you've joined from. So I'm going to start from the first question we have here from Jeremiah. Jeremiah is asking, how do you decide which endorsing body to use, especially for Route 4? Okay, so how do you decide which endorsing body to use? So maybe you can clarify there's a difference between endorsing body and the route as well, but then they're asking, how do you decide which endorsing body to use?
Okay, so there's a website where you have all the disciplines, under all the endorsing bodies. So let me clarify. There are 4 routes: route 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you go to my channel, I have made a detailed video of each of these routes. Then the endorsing bodies. How do you select it? It's under what is your area of specialty. If you know your area of specialty, you know your discipline, you go to that list. So a video I just released last week is just all about those disciplines. I literally sat down and just recorded all of it because, some people don't like to read, and it's a big problem, a very big problem. This global talent, if you don't read, you have to be informed, brethren. Information is powerful. You have to go and read. There's a list of disciplines on the website, and when you know your area of discipline, that is what will tell you what your endorsing body is. But in summary, humanities will be anyone in humanities and social science will be endorsed by British Academy. Everything medicines, life sciences will be endorsed under Royal Society. Royal Academy of Engineering is everything engineering, everything engineering. And then UKRI, everything, everywhere, everybody is there because your grant can be in engineering, your grant can be in life science. That's just the summary. That's the summary. So even if you don't look at that list, but please go and look at it. That's the summary of where each of the the disciplines sits under each endorsing body.
Yeah, and we're going to link to Dr. Yemisi's channel and other handles as well. So, like some of the information she's sharing about some videos, she's made really amazing videos, bringing people as well to share their stories. So, you can also go visit the channel, very rich information there to learn more about these routes and like related global talent visa stories. Okay, so the next question here by Good Scope Academy says getting the recommendation letter, how does it come from a person that knows your work who doesn't work with you? Yes.
So the recommendation letter, the eminent person must be in the UK. That's why they have to know your work. So it's somebody that you must have worked with, you must have collaborated with. There are people that have been recommended by people that they just met when they had some collaboration that visited their home country. And then they just reached out to them to say, oh, I'm applying I would like you to, when I'm ready, I'd like you to recommend me. Oh, why not? That's why, when you see collaborations, when you see opportunities with people outside of your home country, jump at it as a researcher. It might cost you, your integrity or even financially and all of that. Just make sure that you have that collaboration, you create it. So yes, the eminent person must be in the UK and they must know your work. You must have collaborated. There's no way, except you're applying as an exceptional talent where you have two recommendations letter. One is an objective assessment. So the person can just look at your CV and say, okay, this person, just this is what I know about this person based on their CV, blah, 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 blah. But yes, the person must not. There's no way someone will recommend you without knowing who you are. It's going to be difficult.
Yeah. Yeah, really important. And, I like that you're stressing on that aspect of collaboration and volunteering, because some people, when they hear volunteering, they go, oh, okay, so am I going to work for free? Well, this is research and academia roots. There's a lot of collaboration that goes on. I mean, before you even get an output from a work, some people would have to work and collaborate for maybe months, even sometimes years before you get like a research output, for example. So, but it's something, community service is even part of research and academia, offering yourself to work on something. Okay, so yeah,
Sorry,
go on.
can I say something? Yeah, so you can also, go to LinkedIn, look at people in your area of specialty, look at people you know, in your area who are experts. Try to connect with them. Start following their work. Start seeing what they are doing. If you are a researcher outside of the UK, look at what they've done and see how you can, start, following what they are doing, reach out to them, emailing them, look for grants under them. If there are no grants, look for fellowships. In fact, if you're a lecturer, if you're a full-time if you're a full-time academic in your home country, all those little fundings you might get from your home university that can give you opportunity, look for visiting positions to just go and visit universities. From there, there'll be one project that will lead to another project. That's how collaboration starts. That's how you know people. Sorry, I
And
just wanted to add that.
yeah, just like a practical example as well. I remember when I was doing my PhD, summer schools. I use summer schools. So if in case you're wondering, I'm not in an academic position and all that. Where do I start from? So this is something I share as well. Summer schools where you get to meet other researchers and other graduate students and even experts in the field. And because they are teaching, you can easily connect with them, ask them questions, and meet people as well from other institutions. So there are several opportunities like that. Community. So even if you don't have a research position right now or academic position, I think just looking out for little opportunities like that where you network and meet people would be amazing. Okay, let's take question from Victor. Victor is asking, is this visa route meant for those who are residents in the UK? Yeah. Is it meant for those resident in the UK? Dr. Yemisi.
No, it's not. It's not meant for only, it's global talent visa. What the UK is looking for, the UK is looking for experts in different disciplines. And what they want to attract are the best, like, Dr. Marilyn, we always say, the best are brightest. Those are her words, exactly. They are looking for the best and brightest. They are looking for the best and brightest. And, is to help the UK economy grow, bring in more people, make it, the UK is a wonderful place, very inclusive, very diverse, and all of that. So this is just a means of, okay, you're an expert, you're exceptional, come and be, and that's why a job is not required. That's the interesting thing. That's why you don't require a job. Another big problem is after you come, some people say, after I have come now, I don't have a job. Thank God for the first step. When we get to that bridge, God will provide job, but get the visa first. But yes, it's not just for people only in the UK, people outside the UK, but you must meet the requirement. So it's not only route 4. Route 3, the things that route 3 has, blessed people with, because all you need is to get that job that you are working, and then you get UKRI. Even an administrator in a grant, you will get a project manager in a grant, you get global talent visa. This research and academia, I just love it. Like each of the routes, they are that's why you have to, is either you are going for that route or you're not. So look on the individual fellowships, look at the academic positions, which is for more senior, or if you're in innovation as well. And then route 3 is one route that people have not explored. That route 3, there is a lot of things in route 3.
Wow. Amazing. Please, where are the questions? We are waiting for your questions. Oh, you need to exhaust, tap into this wealth of knowledge. Please, don't let Dr. Yemisi go without tapping, or you can tap.
Without tapping.
Tap, tap the grace, tap the
We're
inside.
all here to tap. We're all here to tap.
Yes.
It's the grace of God.
I want to ask a question while we're waiting for questions.
Yes, shoot.
I just hope it's not the final question. Please, let's start. So now, I know touch on. You said we have been using this word touch on. So you have been touched on by GTV, right? So what has, because I don't know, everybody's case might not be the same. So is the touch on a good one? Has it impacted you positively, in the UK? So, or is there a, I don't think so. I don't believe so. So, but just share your experience. Tell us your.
Oh, wow. Yeah, so my brother, there's been a lot of touch on. To the glory of God. Hallelujah. No, honestly, Global Talent Visa has been a blessing. It brought people like you my way, by the grace of God. It's brought me to a lot of Global Talent recipients, which I'm so excited about. It's made me meet a lot of people, with a lot of network. And in fact, by summer, we're already, thinking of doing a Global Talent Visa, research and academia, space where we will just gather. I really, want to bring everyone together as much as possible. All the people that have been hiding, the day you see this video, please reach out. We must hear your story. It's and that's the I used global talent visa to actually get my indefinite leave to remain earlier than expected.
Yeah.
Because interestingly, one of the greatest benefits of the research and academia is whether you're an exceptional talent or you're an exceptional promise, in 3 years you get indefinite leave to remain.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's automatic. Unlike you people research, as you people are shouting, and I say research, these tech people, with all your popularity.
Do a debate, oh. One day we'll do a debate.
Yes, it's important.
I'm
Let's
telling
do
you. Yes, so we need to organize it. I'm ready for it. I'm going to please Glotil organize it. GTV Tech Nation vs Research and Academia. Research academia people, we are ready. We need to do please organize it.
I know we are many. We'll bring all of them.
My only problem is you people might now come with AI, and that's where you will take us over. That's by the time you people bring AI, we will just surrender to you people, because I was listening to radio last week, and a prof was saying he can't imagine that a research that he did for decades, they put it in ChatGPT in AI, and it's producing it just like that. The AI is producing data. He was appreciating AI actually, to say that a research that you would do in the lab and sit for years. Now, one AI somewhere will just be giving you ideas. But back to your question, sir. Yes, the Global Talent Visa has been a lot of, like I said, with research and academia, in 3 years. And another wonderful thing is it's a connecting continuous count. If there's any English like that, oh God help me. Where did I get that from? Connecting continuous count, that I mean is you can count your years on your skilled worker visa into your global talent visa, which was what I did. So I had 2 years already on my global talent, on my skilled worker visa. When I got my global talent, that year became my 3rd year for global talent visa.
Wow.
Yes. And if your dependent have continuously been your dependent for 5 years continuously, they would also be eligible like that. It's all in the book. So
Connecting continuous dependence.
exactly.
The English is correct.
Yes, it's a continuous connect. But yeah, those have been, by the grace of God, the benefit. It's really been a blessing. God has been faithful with Global Talent Visa. It came at a very wonderful time. Although, like I said on my channel, I would have been eligible for Route 3 because I was on a grant as at that time working as a research scientist, but I missed the criteria by a few days or something, because you have to have at least a 24-month contract and at least 1 year. So when I was ready to apply, I think I had missed it by a few days, because that would have been a fast track. That was when it dawned on me that this peer review that I have been avoiding. Oh my God. And then I was also, one of the things I struggled with was someone to recommend me as well. Not that I struggled, but it was like, I thought this person should recommend me, would fit, which is why I say your discipline is very important. I thought, this person would fit, someone who is a virologist, who is that. And the person was not saying, I don't think I'm eminent enough. What do you mean by you are not eminent enough? Yes, there are people who will tell you, because they believe that, whenever anybody, is told you are reviewing something, you you are reviewing something, you would be thinking, okay, who are the reviewers? Anyone who is a reviewer must be someone that is an expert. And someone might just think, I am not eminent enough to endorse you for. But sometimes you just need to explain and let people understand that, oh, it is possible. So yeah, it's been one thing that God favored me with, and I'm so grateful to God for it.
Amazing. So let us take, oh, we can see some questions. Oh, our audience, they've woken up. How do someone is asking, how do I access these grants? How do I access these grants? But
What grants?
the grants you were mentioning, I think maybe they're asking about the
Tree.
Individual.
yeah, maybe the UKRI grants.
Yeah, that's for the tree.
Oh, okay. Okay, so for Route 3, if you check what's it called now, on UKRI website, actually, you will find the different grants, any grants that you see. So if you go to my I'm so sorry, I keep referring to my channel because it has a detail. There are some links under there as well, which I might not be able to type in here, but there's a link there. If you go to UKRI, you can find most of their grants there. You will definitely see different grants. Once you just type on Google UKRI grants, you will see on jobs.ac.uk, you will see jobs in either research institutions or in universities and all of that. And you will see it. They will tell you that this grant is by UKRI. UKRI means UK, United Kingdom Research and Innovation. So you will see any grant that has that is eligible for global talent visa. You will see the requirement is what you need to know. Okay, so if it's funded by, there is UK, anything UKRI, you will see UKRI on it, but the grant must be more than 30,000, and the what's it now? Yeah, you must have an employment for a year, and then the contract must be 24 months. That's the condition.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's how to get the grant. Just type on Google UKRI grants, and you will see jobs that are attached to grants that you can apply for. And something else, you can also ask, if you apply for a job and they say, oh, it's funded, please, who is funding it? Don't waste time. There are people that didn't know that they could use their grants to apply for global talent visa. They didn't know.
Oh.
By the time they knew, they had started, their contract was far gone.
Yeah, and from what you're saying as well, even if the person has, the criteria that they would have spent 1 year on that grant. So let's say they were on skilled worker visa and they apply. From the connecting continuous count you were mentioning earlier, it would still count, right, towards this
Yes,
global
yes,
visa, which is
yes,
amazing. Yeah.
yes, it will.
Maureen is asking, for someone who hasn't worked in any formal educational institution but who has up to 5 published research works, can such a person apply?
If you haven't worked in an institution, where did the papers come from? You must have worked somewhere. Well, what is your experience? What's your backgrounding? So if you've never worked in in an institution, the papers your name didn't just jump on that paper. You must have been working with them. You must have been working with them. You don't have to. It's not possible that your name will just be put on a paper without you working with. It doesn't have to. That's why they say equivalence experience. So, for example, you might have been working. There are lots of people in the industry that are very, very exceptional in what they are doing.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
where did the papers come from? If you can answer that would be nice.
Wow. Okay. So Who else? Bola is saying, I finished my MSc in project management last year. I'm currently on 2 years post-study work visa. I want to explore these global talent routes. Where do I start from, please? I mean, some of these resources are already a good starting point. And then, anyway, let me allow Dr. Yemisi
Oh
to.
yes, yes, yes. Some of these resources are a good starting point, and you know, Glotel has one link on their website for eligibility criteria. You can check it there. If you click on that, I'm sure it will be posted in the link shortly because there was a QR code earlier, which I can't see anymore. Me, I don't need glasses like all these my colleagues, but I saw a QR code earlier, which I'm sure you should be able to possibly, you know, click it and see how eligible you are. Yeah, I was right. You see, I was right. So you can find you should be able to get your eligibility if you click on that QR code and know. But go and check the disciplines. Is project management there under research and academia? Off the top of my head, I keep telling you see this global talent visa. It's not where you want to start from. It is where you need to end because it's not for everybody. I'm sorry. We are here to share information, but we also need to be honest with one another. You know, when I do one-to-ones, I just tell people, see, this is not your visa. Are you about your own post study? How long is your how much more do you have on your post study? What have you done? Are you exceptional? Interestingly, I found someone in HR today and I'm chasing her down. An HR professional that got global talent visa. I can't wait for her reply to interview. Like when I see global talent visa, you know, it's just you don't even know how they endorse people anymore. And like I would imagine she was endorsed under British Academy. I would imagine because she would come under, you know, social sciences and humanities. But I really can't wait to hear from her. So, but with project management, except if you want to go, these are the technician organs, you know, all these product led, product on led, they are the professionals, they can help you with where to start, you know. So click on that eligibility and I'm sure that you get more insight.
All right, our Instagram people, we didn't forget you. Odinaka Tianya was asking similar question to what has already been answered. How long do you think it will take a person who is just starting out, like a total beginner in this journey? Okay, there's this. I've talked about starting out, but
Mm.
how long will it take someone starting out?
Wow, someone starting out, you need to know first of all what's your discipline, what's your area of specialty. There's one video that I love so much that I keep going back. It was a video we made actually with Marilyn, where she gave, you know, the breakdown of misconceptions of how to start out, of how to be a global talent yourself. So please go and watch that interview. It's here on Glotil. Some part of it is here on Glotil YouTube channel. So welcome to our channel. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe now. We need to increase the subscription tonight. So
Yes,
if
sir.
you are just joining us, please subscribe now. But yeah, that video, you know, will do a lot of good because it will help you. I really love that video because Marilyn literally gave like a coaching session in that video, you know, just to give you an idea about where you need to start from. And just like we're sharing today, this is another good place to start. Just know your discipline, then know your endorsing body, and then go and read the guideline, and then seek help. And I'm sure, and then you know when you see the guideline, even you don't, if you don't deceive yourself, forget, I'm not yet exceptional. I am X. You know, you start from there, start spelling exceptional till you get to the final letter.
You mentioned something about this will be our last question from Destiny on Instagram. Destiny is asking, Destiny, you want to know more about consultation. We're going to put the link if you want. We have a form to check you have the QR code, but we'll put the link as well. So if you want to start by checking your eligibility, or if you actually want to just get started by having a conversation, with a coach, we would send you all those details to book those sessions. But Destiny is asking, eminence. Who is an eminent person? I mean, there are some words we've used here, like best and brightest. Please, the
Right?
best and brightest doesn't mean you have to be a Nobel Prize winner. I need you to write a disclaimer. Even when I was applying, I saw that word and you almost discouraged me. I'm like, no, best and bright. I'm still a work in progress, but that's what they use to actually describe the people they look for. But that doesn't mean you need to be a Nobel Prize winner. Just means that you need to have some achievements, which is what Dr. Yemisi has been talking about all along. But eminence, please, who is eminent? Who is an eminent person?
Someone that is, in Nigeria where we come from, is oh God, it up. Someone that is an expert in your field, that is an eminent person. An expert who should be, they started putting it now because they can see that people are just eminent. So they started putting out, there is, I think on one of the endorsing body, it's website, it says, a director of an institution, a head of a department, a dean, all of those, those are the category of eminent person. The summary of it all is an expert in your field. Because somebody, can say, oh, my line manager. If they put your line manager on Google, what is coming out? Who is your line manager? We interviewed, engineer Odua on my YouTube channel. It was after the application that her eminent person told her, did you know they emailed me?
Oh,
You will be surprised at what they will just be wondering that, okay, we even want to give you, let's just. So your eminent person cannot be, relative, friends, and family, cannot be BFF, F and F, or every F, cannot be your friend. Oh, sorry. But what I'm trying to say is, must be an expert in your area of specialty.
yeah, amazing. Okay, so wow, it's been a lot, but we also have a community and we're going to continue the conversation there. So, any more questions you have, you can ask, keep asking, keep the questions coming on our community as well, our channel. Ask your questions, and we'll do our best to respond to those questions. Any last words, Dr. Yemisi, before we summarize? Any last words?
Hmm. Now I wish it doesn't have to end. But yeah. Yeah, honestly, the Global Talent Visa is the best visa anyone can have. It has a lot of benefits. It's one visa that, helps you, achieve what you want to achieve as an expert. It's like the reward of your labor. That's how I see it. Especially for academics, where you've worked so hard, you've done quite a number of research as an academic or as a researcher, and then you're being appreciated or rewarded for what you've done, and you're just being asked to come to another country to come and contribute that knowledge, to grow the economy of that country. So it's a visa that you need to be ready for. Okay. The Global Talent Visa is a visa you need to be ready for. If you're listening to this video, if you've applied, if you're, a recipient yourself, congratulations. If you've not applied, you want to apply, it's good you're watching this video right now because it's a good place to start. Start thinking about it. Think of the future. Think about, what you've done. What have I done? How am I eminent? How can I put all this together? And then look at all the Global Talent Visa. Tonight we're focusing on research and academia. Musicians, fashion designers, poets. I've met a writer that came from Nigeria as a writer on Global Talent Visa. So there's lots of, so there are three main categories: digital technology, where these my wonderful girls are, top of it, AI, everything. In fact, I'm so excited. We have gone through this call without being trained to AI, you know. Then we have the research and academia, and then we have the art and culture. And every information you need is on the endorsing body website and is on Google. All we are doing is amplifying this information and then supporting you to put things into perspective and for you to get the best out of it. So you are a global talent designer. If you've not heard anything in this call, if you're watching this in the future, make sure that you become that global talent. And do what you can in your area of specialty. Not when you are ready for global talent visa, you start looking for evidence here and there. It will not work. It's not by like that. It will not. It's not by like that. It's not by. If you wake up in the morning and say global talent visa, here I come. You have to have the evidence and meet the criteria. There are people like that they didn't know that they had everything, and when they heard about global talent, it was just, oh wow. So don't be a local champion. Those are my final words. Make sure you are making impact in your area of specialty, wherever you are in the world, and be that, global exceptional talent that you are. It's in you, to succeed. And I pray that, God grants you favor and, get support as much as you can. And see, prayer helps. So there are people that, they'll say, I cannot apply for global. God just favor all of us. I'm sure if we're to allow Dr. Marilyn and Dr. Amazing to start now, we've all just been found by grace and favor. So connect with people and trust God for the best for you. Thank you so much.
Doctor, your new name now is Doctor Touchon.
Hey!
Touched our lives.
Oh, Dr. Mia.
Touch
Thank you, sir.
on, touch on. Continue. What was the that's
Touch
it?
on no limits.
No,
No,
no limits touch on.
no,
No, no, no, no, no. Connecting connections, touch on no limit.
Yeah, we're so excited today. You are just a full package, comedy, drama. You would have also done for art
I
and
think
culture.
so. Maybe I'm in the wrong profession. I will be applying for global talent visa.
And culture, please.
Yes, so art and culture.
Yeah, we actually, on behalf of Theo, everyone, in the team, we say Dobale. It was Dobale. I don't know if I'm speaking the right Yoruba.
Frustrate, abi.
So we are really, really, so excited, and we are grateful for taking out your time to honor, this invitation and impacting. So what you do is actually who you are. We've seen it. We saw
Thank
the patience in church. That's why I don't know. You are really touched, Dr. Touchon. So we've been touched, we've been blessed, we've been impacted, we've been,
you.
every word that has to do with positivity, inspiration, we've gotten it from you today. We've learned a lot. And you've actually shown us that you are a great Nigerian and you've impacted the whole world, not just fellow maybe Nigerians. So we're so happy, right? On behalf of Blue Tail, we say thank you so much, right? Special thank you to our audience. Without you, we wouldn't have been here. It won't make sense as well. So everyone that supported us, we are also very, very grateful. Your questions, your presence, your attendance, and all that. We are so grateful. Yeah, so we would keep in touch with us. And yes, if some persons were saying we want to get her back, Dr. Yemisi wants her back, we want her back. So, Dr.
Back
Yemisi,
to here.
Back here.
they want to give us
Victor
the
said,
art and, you're
yeah.
going to go and reapply for arts and culture. So they want you to come back and tell us how.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, yeah. So and yeah, so we'll be hearing more from her. Just
Definitely.
keep connected with us, keep in touch with us. She has told you like the channel so that you get notified when we get new videos from her, on this channel. And yes, once again, God bless you all and thank you for joining us. Yes. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Stay touched on. No limits.
Stay touched on, no limit. Stay touched on, no limit. Subscribe so that you stay touched on.
Correct.
Like it, subscribe. All right.
Bye, everyone.
Thank
Everyone,
you. Bye. God bless you. No limits. Thank you.
no limits. Bye.